Have you been having a difficult time getting your worlds to align? My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. Today's topic is celestial downer. I remember as a kid, if you enjoyed learning, if you were intelligent, if you wanted to apply your brain, you'd often be called a goody two-shoes or brown noser to the teacher, or you'd be insulted essentially if you were wanting to evolve the self. It was like, that's not cool to want to evolve the self. We're trying to be ding-dongs. Be a ding-dong with it. It's like, okay, interesting. Can I not be a part of your group? Thanks. Bye-bye. Thank you. No, thank you. There's just a funny thing about this world. I often think of the world as like the hangman. It's like upside down. I remember as kids too, we would always have opposite day. And it's like, almost feels sometimes like the earth is having a habitual opposite day and it's never flipped back. Been that way the whole time. I was moving through some grief this week. I have lost 60 to 70, 80, I don't know how many people, a lot of people in this life. And death has been a constant teacher of mine. And one of the things I don't want to do is go hand to my family members, hand to my friends. If I have a lover, hand to a lover, my unprocessed stuff. I'm capable of assimilating. I'm capable of integrating the light and the shadow. And so I read recently that a dandelion reflects the celestial heavens. A dandelion are those little yellow weeds that grow in the grass, and they look like little yellow suns, but then they turn into what looks like a moon. It turns into almost like a white lunar orb. And then when the wind blows, or if a kid plucks it and blows on it to make a wish, which wish is the card of the star card, the 17th card in the tarot, they spread these seeds with the potentiality for something to bloom forth and bear fruit again. And so I was thinking about how cool that is. Like, I've never had that thought. I love it when a human has a thought I've never had, and I love it when it's mystical right in front of your face. Like, so cool. The celestial heavens are down below the heavens being reflected. That flower turns into a sun, a moon, and then the stars. What? What are we doing? What are we doing, everybody? What are we doing? And so I was sitting in the living room wrapping presents and processing unprocessed grief. Seemed like a good time to do it. I'm by myself. And the light was coming in. I had the windows open and the light was coming in, and it felt so good and so warming. And so I'd closed my eyes to just kind of receive the sunlight and fill my temple with that solar light. So many cultures throughout all time, I've said it many times, have prayed to the sun. Surya, Lag, Inti, Ra. There's been so many different names, so many different iterations. Lag, Sol, there's so many ways. We've referred to the sun as a spirit. And so that keeps happening. And, I'm always said, a lie will always die. The truth will always be known. Seems to be some truth in there being a spirit in that big ball of gas up there. A gaseous spirit. And as I was letting this light in, I was thinking of this dandelion and kind of illuminating and communing with the concept of dandelion. One of the shamanic practices I do is commune with animals, plants, different things. So I was communing with the spirit of dandelion, and this is something I invite you to do as well, to sit and close your eyes and allow the sun in and relate to the dandelion side of the flower, the solar feist of the flower, that which illuminates all things. When the sun is out, the sun card, when you're getting the sun card in the tarot, it represents clarity, optimism, brightness, positivity. Usually we play in the sun. We do more activities in the summer. We enjoy being, I can go to the beach and whatever, it's not cold. So humans, two-legged creatures, tend to love to lay in the sun. I know Salissa does. I know cats do. And we can see what everything is. And yet the sun and the moon have always danced together. One has always chased the other. And so this flower, after I had communed with the sun coming through my eyes and feeling this blooming positivity, just feeling so much relief from letting, steam out of the kettle never goes back in, letting the grief out, letting myself feel the things I feel, not having to always process with another, allowing myself to clear and heal the temple. I was just feeling a lot of joy and allowing all that solar light. And then the sun got covered by a cloud or something and it got dark. And I was identifying with the more lunar aspect of a dandelion, where it makes this beautiful white orb of the seeds. And so I was connecting to the moon, and I was connecting to the shadow, and I was connecting to the dark side of the moon, the Lilith aspect of life, that part of ourselves that may strive to be a goody two-shoes, or strive to get it right, or strive to be an excellence, or strive to be spiritually adept, or, strive to be wholly good all the time, or to be liked, or whatever that is. And that part of us that we feel may be unlikable, or that part of us that may judge another as unlikable for what they're doing, who they're being, how they're showing up. Those aspects of self that we tend to not want to shine as much light on. I was sitting with myself, like parts of me that I don't like particularly, or that I hope to evolve on and intend to evolve on, and blah, blah, blah. But just sitting in the shadows, sitting in fears I have, false evidence appearing real. What am I allowing? When am I allowing fear to sit in my temple? What am I afraid of? What are we so afraid of, everybody? Let's look at it. Let's be with that for a minute, that we might shine light from the sun onto the moon as the two chase one another, so that we might look at that which we cast in the shadows, that which we judge, that which we want to build a wall from, even though everything is atoms and it's already a unified field. And so I was connecting to the lunar aspect, to the down below aspects. In the lower world, you have your power animals, you have your ancestors. Down below doesn't necessarily mean bad. Shadow and darkness don't necessarily mean bad. It takes darkness for a seed to gestate, to bloom forth new fruit. Things may need to fall fallow, and it can't be always a matter of, we just harvest and we never have to plant the seed. There is a time to rest, there is a time to work, and there is a time to reap the rewards of one's efforts. And so I was allowing myself to sit at the end of 2025 and met with my moon time and be like in this lunar energy of things falling fallow. What if nothing I desire comes to pass? What if I meditate on being a corpse for a minute, or doing those more macabre or dark things that one might want to avoid. And then I was connecting with a dandelion as the celestial heavens of the stars, because when you grab a dandelion to make a wish, you spread those seeds out, and there's a star of hope there that they might find fertile ground and bloom more wishes forth. I also recently saw that an ankh is much like the womb, the fallopian tubes in a womb. And so the ankh is a symbol of eternal life. And so it's kind of pointing to this construct of reincarnation. And I would say, in the same vein, just as the dandelion is reflecting the celestial heavens, and we're starting to see the way planets may be connected to life down here in some ways, it may also be indicative and reflective of the cycles of life, the cycles of that which falls fallow, but then still has potentiality to bloom forth again. There, we can see that in that storyline of what a dandelion is doing. And the tarot card 17, the star card is the star of hope. So these little star-looking seeds that are a reflecting point of the heavens above and the celestial heavens are reflecting this potentiality we might have if we wish to align. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to do what I was doing at home in all of my infinite strangeness. If you might like to do it with me, to align the multiverses. Heather is a multiversal theorist. Many quantum physicists in the modern age, that is what they believe to be occurring. There are infinite multiverses occurring. There are infinite iterations of this video that Heather's made, and also those that she didn't, and paths where she didn't even walk to this place. And sometimes we can feel really out of sync. I've been feeling a bit out of sync. So what I'd love for you to do is to close your eyes. If you have access to allowing sunlight to fall against them, that would be a lovely thing to offer for this exercise. And just allow yourself to be awash in the luminous raws, light, sun, solar, optimistic, positive, clear energy, as if you suddenly understand everything. You know the next step to take. You feel clear in your life. You feel blessed. You feel blessed. You feel blessed. And allow that warm light to just wash through your being. I am luminous. I am blessed. I am optimistic. I am happy. And allow it to flip into a moon. And allow yourself to see all the ways you judge yourself, the ways you judge others, all the shadow aspects of separation in which we claim that things are not to be connected and one thing can be superior to another. And just apply some forgiveness as you sit in the moon. And then blow a great Exhale as you cast forth the seeds of your infinite multiverses and allow a wish for you to finally come true. I'm one.